The following broadcast is a Nighthawk Network presentation. Good evening, everybody. What's going on? It's your boy E-Buck in the building. And as you know, those of you who really know, they call me the Nighthawk. And this, of course, is my Nighthawk Pod Show. I am back, y'all, after my summer sabbatical. Took some time to get my mind right and work on some other projects and whatnot. Hope you guys have been having a great summer and things are going well for you. I will start the show off by updating you on my health status. And then today's show, we are going to talk about the story that's not getting enough play in the media because we talk about other people and other subjects. I'll get to a little bit of both of those a bit later. But I want to talk about the advancement of artificial intelligence, also known as the great AI. Because if we don't get it together sooner than later, we might have some problems, particularly us older people not quite so familiar with the technology. We will talk about that for sure. But first and foremost, I would like to send a shout out to the people of Hawaii, particularly those who are going through what they are going through in terms of the cataclysmic loss that they've had due to the fires and the hurricane-like winds and all the destruction that it caused to their part of Hawaii, their part of paradise. You are definitely in my prayers as we are learning every day. More and more people are being found not to no longer be among us, and it is much deeper than I think we're even giving it credit for. You know, of course, we are concentrating on other parts of the news cycle, and I don't think that's getting enough play, even though they do play parts of it every day. But I really think we need to consider that our people that are part of our United States, though a smaller part, still a part of the United States, they are hurting, and we definitely need to be mindful of them, take care of them. There are several websites that's been set up to help them. Do your due diligence first before you pick one to send your donation if you are able to do so, and try to help out our people there in Hawaii get things back in order. That would be great. We do have our first comment this evening. That is my girl, Road the Starter. Hey, Road, what's going on? How am I? I'm actually going to update you on that momentarily. But before I do that, I must encourage you guys to follow Road Stardom. You can find her on most of your major social media outlets, including the Tube and the Gram. Look for this symbol right here to let you know it is Rose. She deals with independent music and other things on her show, her Road to Stardom show. And of course, if you go to the Facebook page or the Instagram page, I should say, you will find a link that will link you to some of the products that she is encouraging you to buy. I'm encouraging you to buy them as well. Look out for my people, Rose. Rose always looking out for us. Definitely want you guys to show her some love in return. If you can do that, we appreciate it. Thank you very much for that. We are definitely trying to support Black business and minority business here on the show. So if there are any of you who are doing anything in terms of entrepreneurship, selling things, making things, offering any type of services, please let us know here at the network. You can go to my Facebook Messenger or my Instagram, which is EricHawk45, or the new Instagram, eNighthawk, which we will tell you about a little later. And put that in the messenger, and we will try to hook up with you and see if we can get some advertisement done here on the podcast. As you know, my Nighthawk Network is seen in over 22 states and 4 countries on any given time. So you might be able to get a little word out that way, a bit more than you are accustomed to here locally or there locally. So give it a shot. Okay. It's been a minute since I've been on the air, so gonna take some little breaks here and there, just getting used to talking so long. It's been a minute, like I said, when I've been taking a break outside of a few phone conversations, I really have not had many extended discussions at all these last 5, 6 weeks. So I can even hear it in my voice that I'm just not used to talking this long. So keep in mind, this will not be an extremely long show, as none of them should. Moving forward, I want to try to keep it in that 60, 90-minute range because, people got things to do, and I appreciate if you tune in for 5 minutes or 30 minutes or however long you have check out the show. If you want to come back and see it later on, I am also on the YouTube under Eric Butler Nighthawk Network Detroit. You can check out this episode or any past episodes. We'll also try to do some snippets and some reels of some of the things we talk about, so you can check it out as I put them in my stories and whatnot. We're working through the technology. We're trying to learn some different things. In the meanwhile, let me tell you about what's going on with me. I am overall doing better in terms of my health. Things are definitely progressing in the right direction. Couple issues I'm still having is basically in terms of the weight loss. Since the last time I was on the air, I have not really lost any weight at all. Not a pound. Sad but true. The good news, however, is I haven't really gained any weight either. So I've basically been somewhere around 305 range. And we definitely need to go on the opposite end of that. We want to get down to somewhere around 280 by the end of the year, and my ultimate goal probably somewhere in that 225, 220 range, which I think we could accomplish by the end of next year if we do our due diligence. We have been keeping up with all the vital statistics. That is, in particular, that good old blood pressure. As you see, I've actually been making charts. I don't know if you see the chart because I got on the whatchamacall, but basically here, this is that information. I've been charting my blood pressure twice a day as the doctor has asked me to do. You will learn as if you basically did not know that for those of you who track your blood pressure. Your blood pressure tends to be higher in the morning and goes down over the course of the day. I've been taking my medications faithfully every day, and as a result, my blood pressure overall has definitely been trending downward into good ranges. There's been a couple days where it's been kind of high, but nothing life threatening. There was a one day a couple weeks ago that it got a little peculiar, but for the most part, doing good. In fact, I do believe I did put that in tonight. This is what my blood pressure is this evening before the show. 109 over 87 with a heart rate of 74 according to my chart that I track. All that is in a very good range. So very happy about that. In terms of my exercise, which is the key part that I'm missing right now, because I'm really not getting enough of that into the equation. Um, this is my last week of walking, just in general. As you see, my best day last week was Wednesday. I did like 40,000 steps. And according to the doctor, person my age should pretty much average that a day, somewhere between 4 to 5,500 steps a day. Not doing that right now. Like I said, that was the most steps I got in since we've been out of the woods, so to speak. There's been 4 days where I've done more than 5,000 steps. Definitely got to do a better job on that. So we definitely will work toward that. My goal for the rest of the week is to have one day where I do at least 7,500 steps, and one day possibly do 10,000. In order to do that, you got to get to that gym. Been paying doggone Planet Fitness way too much money for me not to utilize those services, at least until I get my home gym situated here at the studio. So definitely need to spend some quality time there sometime later on this week. We are planning to do such a thing. Outside of that, things are going okay. Financial situation is still shaky. I mean, we are basically, this is me This is the financial we really pressing right now. It's very week to week and day to day, but we are slowly making strides, and I am thankful. Thanks again to all of you who reached out and was able to help out when things was really in dire straits. I am thankful. I am blessed to have you guys in my life and in my corner that are able to help me out, and I am working toward helping out in return and returning some of that love and actually doing things for people that have done things for me later on down the line. That is my ultimate plan in terms of that. Thank you guys very, very much. As far as everything else goes, it's just basically a one day at a time progression. Hopefully things will continue on that. So that is my health update for this time around. We will keep you guys posted as to what's going on with me. I will let you know. Thank you guys, as I said, for checking in. Now, without further ado, we will get to the main meat of the show this evening. We are talking about a little something called AI. Now, here's the thing, people. I am in the process of doing this for you guys because I was supposed to add this to my talking points videos and what have you. Did not do that, so I do believe I have that video ready to upload. So allow me to do that while I talk about artificial intelligence. Now, as you know, hold on, that's not gonna work, y'all. We got to do this a little different here. Give me a second. It says my video too long. That's what happens when you go live. Sometimes you have these statistics. All right, here we go, people. Let's check it out.
You know, we have talked a lot about all the ways artificial intelligence has gained a foothold in our lives, and like any new technology, it can be a double-edged sword.
Boy, while AI has applications in healthcare, finance, education, and more, it also gives scammers a new high-tech toolkit at their disposal.
So this morning, we're going to do a deep dive into deep fakes. Fox News' Derek Kevra takes us inside AI.
and some other supporting guys, and then Tom Cruise walks in.
Fake videos of comedian Bill Hader morphing into Tom Cruise. The Pope decked out in Balenciaga. Even an eerily convincing demo of voice dubbing Morgan Freeman.
What if I were to tell you that I'm not even a human being? Would you believe me?
The technology behind these so-called deepfake videos becoming more sophisticated by the day. And what's truly incredible is how fast this all happened. Just a few years ago, it required a team of highly skilled digital effects experts spending hours upon hours precision editing to digitally add Carrie Fisher into a Star Wars film, which was shot after her death. But today, AI has made it so basically anyone can do it. And unfortunately, anyone includes scammers.
There was a CEO of a bank that transferred over 100,000 pounds. The chairman of the board or something called and said, transfer 100,000 pounds into this account. He did it. He thought it was that person. It was something that was 100% real to him.
But it was fake.
But it was 100% fake.
JJ Ryan is a cybersecurity master's student and an expert on deepfakes. He says scammers and con artists aren't necessarily copying celebs to trick you. Instead, they're copying your loved ones.
They'll say, hey, I'm in terrible trouble. I've been kidnapped. Somebody's got a gun to my head. You know, that kind of thing is going to come up very often. And it'll be believable because it's their voice.
Ryan is part of a team at Oakland University, working not on creating deepfakes, but on detecting them. The team is led by Professor Khalid Malik, who has been studying deepfake technology for more than a decade.
These days, technology has advanced up to an extent that we just need 1 minute of samples to create anyone's voice.
Professor Malik says these malicious deepfakes are only made possible because we all have given scammers the tools they need to copy us.
Where they're getting a lot of this training data is on social media. You post videos of yourself. Maybe your children are posting videos of themselves, and they're getting this training data and they're using it to make these deepfakes.
That's right.
Okay, let's stop there for a minute. Now, as you see, we are talking about the advancement of the technology. Keep in mind, AI has been around for years, people. We know this. I mean, just look at some of those movies from not so long ago, like the movie I, Robot, for instance, or even that movie Megan that a lot of you guys liked over the last year or so, where basically we can take computer technology and give it as much lifelike realness as possible to the point where we can pretty much now not only copy computer type stuff, but basically I could actually not be me right now. I could be talking to you through AI as if I was me, full facial features, full voice and all. They're actually gonna give you an example of how that actually works. So when we consider AI, we have to realize that the future is really coming to life in a major way, and it's coming at such a fast rate that some of the things that we normally would safeguard against, we haven't even set up yet because the technology is outgrowing our ability to keep things to where we know what's going on. So this is why we have to have these discussions, people, because before you know it, they'll be scamming you on a level that you weren't even prepared for. And a perfect example of that is what is going on here later on in this video. Let me continue from here.
Your own pictures and videos used against you. But surely the people you know and love and talk to every single day, well, you'd be able to tell it wasn't them, right? Well, that's what we thought. So we devised a little test. We created a deep fake of me. The story is that I got a haircut, and in the process, I accidentally shaved my head.
So I'm freaking out. It looks awful. It's going to take months to grow back in.
Keep in mind, this is not my voice at all. It was created entirely by AI.
Hello? Wait a minute, I gotta talk fast because I don't have much time. I made a big mistake and I need your help talking through it. I'm about to get a haircut today and the stylist went a little too far up with the clippers, essentially shaved half my head.
Okay, all right, that's not funny.
Dude, stop laughing, this isn't funny. So I'm freaking out. It looks awful. It's gonna take months to grow back in. Can you explain all of it to Laura and Gray? I can't look them in the eye. Tell them I need to take time off to figure out what to do next. Maybe take unpaid time off. I don't know.
Wait, are you being serious right now?
Okay, all right, so he bought it. Before we could call Alan back to explain everything, Fox 2 meteorologist Rich Luderman called us. And we couldn't help ourselves.
The stylist went a little too far up with the clippers, essentially shaved half my head.
Oh, uh-oh.
Rich bought it. And then we called him back for round 2.
Derek, it's Luderman.
Hey, dude, don't worry. That wasn't me. That was a deep fake recording I had made of me by a team at Oakland University for our Inside AI story.
I was thinking, what the hell is going on, man?
So as you can see, they actually set it up to where the person that was doing the story basically did a fake news, so to speak, as to what was going on with him, called somebody from his phone, and basically was able to not only duplicate his voice, but basically to the point to where it sounds very much like him, as you saw for yourself. And if they're able to do that with him, then obviously they could pretty much do that with anybody at this point. And if you think that's not an issue, I will point out what happened to me just a couple weeks ago. I received a call from DTE informing me that my power is going to be turned off and that I have a past due balance that needs to be paid within the next 30 minutes. So if I did not pay that in the next 30 minutes, I would be losing my power. Now, as you see, the power is on. I was not past due at that point, and it was a lie. It was a straight up lie, to the point to where they actually had the number in which DTE would call you from. They actually had the computer voice very similar to what it would sound like from DTE. The thing was, I had just paid the bill 2 days prior, so I know I didn't have a past due amount. So that's part of why I knew it. Then, of course, they said Attention, new customer. I'm not a new customer, DTE. This place has had electricity for decades. So couldn't have been talking to me. You obviously were up to no good. So whoever sent that message was trying to somehow get me to send my credit card information or whatever it would be in order to get money from me to basically scam me. And who knows how they got my number, or if they somehow looked up DTE's information to see that I was behind on the bill, whatever the case may be. You know, computer technology being what it is, we now have to be concerned about people using it to get over on us. And as you know, every year there's some type of new scam, some type of new thing that they're trying to do to get you to give up your vital information in order to utilize it and steal your identity, so on and so forth. So we really got to be on the ball with this thing and start to let each other know as these scams come into play what they are about. So keep in mind, when you get these phone calls now, be sure to get whatever identification necessary, whether it be that person's number, their confirmation, whatever it may be, in order to know that whoever you're talking to is getting you the right information and you are not giving them the wrong information. You know what I mean? Because people are using these AI technologies to get over on us now. And it's only going to get better as time goes on because, of course, what usually happens is as these technologies begin to upgrade, it is the people that want to use them for evil that tend to be ahead of the game more than the people that will use them for good. That is why they talked to Congress early this year about, you know, how basically how good AI is becoming, what things we should be concerned about moving forward. Because like I said, if you watch that movie I, Robot, basically got to the point where the robots were able to take over all the electronic control of pretty much everything and basically had the humans at bay if not for Will Smith and his antics and saving the world as he does in these movies. So yeah, we definitely have to be mindful of these things. Now, again, what are some of the things AI can do? I gave you a perfect example just then as to what happened to me. And like I said, as you saw from the video, and you can see that whole video on Fox 2 News Detroit, you go to their website, which you'll find on YouTube, they have a link to that entire story where they basically give you an idea as to how they do it and what the technology is about and, you know, some of the places you could go to get further educated, which leads to us educating one another as to what we can do. Now, understand, it all starts these days with our personal library slash educator slash etc. Our good old phone here, which basically helps us to find information about these things. Again, you can go to YouTube University and find dozens of articles and stories about it. You can actually go to the actual physical library if you choose to, or you can go to the bookstore. They have several books on the subject. I've been to Barnes and Noble, and you know, they do have books about computer AI and some of that type of stuff. So if you are really, really taking an interest to it, you can find that information there. Now you're saying with us knowing that this could be very dangerous down the line, why are we trying to develop this still? Well, understand there are bad things we can use it for, scamming people and things are one of them. There are also good applications for artificial intelligence that we can use it for also. For example, say you are a person and for whatever reason you lose the ability to speak so that now you are no longer able to talk, and as a result, communication is very difficult. Now, there are AI applications available that you can basically use them to speak for you, so that even if you lose your voice, you basically type in what you want to say and go back to whatever phone conversations or videos that you may have, so that that application has an idea of what you actually sound like, and then can use that as your voice to give you voice once again. That is one such application. They are using AI to help people who are blind, who are deaf, to help communicate better through those type of scenarios as well. AI is being used to help control things like wheelchairs and basically we already know about things like the vacuum cleaner that cleans your house. The one basically now, the more where you can take the AI information and give it the configurations to do your lawn outside. They have mowers like that now. Lord knows they have all type of little robot dogs and all those types of things that they can use, and you can give them information to basically not only react as if a real dog would, but basically to help out in the house also. Then of course you have things like cover those devices at the moment. If I say Google or Siri or what have you, because and sure enough, my phone goes off just as I say that, because they are listening, they are hearing, they are learning from us on a continuous basis to the point to where we have to now be very careful as to how we move forward with these technologies. Our smartphones are getting smarter by the day, and if we are not keeping up with them, they will overtake us to the point to where we won't be able to do a darn thing without them. And what they're able to do may be things we don't want them to do. And then suddenly we look up and our bank account is empty, or our house has been compromised, or whatever the case may be. Our car may not be able to not be able to access our car because they have a better grasp of the AI technology than we do. And as a result, they are using it to complicate our life while benefiting theirs. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I would definitely encourage you all to get to learn the technology when they have these AI discussions online, or when Congress has these meetings or whatnot. You should definitely kind of familiarize yourself with some of the things that's being said, and learn what you can while you can before you look up. And like I said, you remember how it was in the days when the smartphones first came into play, and our older counterparts basically had no idea how to work them, and FaceTime and all of that. So add that equation to what's going on with AI now, and put all that together, and you're making it extremely difficult for our older generations to be able to operate in this world as we know it, because they don't know how to work this stuff, and who's reaching out to teach them. We have to consider the fact that AI is changed to the point to where how school is made and done is about to completely change within about a decade or so, to the point where most of our school will be taught with computers, AI, tablets, what have you. And if you don't know your basic computer skills, you won't be able to do anything. And most of your jobs that are taking place now, they are basically teaching a lot of the computers to do things to where part of what we would do in terms of the employee is no longer necessary, because the computer is now the employee and dealing with things. And basically at that point, they will need people that understand AI to help to generate the computer knowledge so that the computer can move forward in the job prospect, and it's your job to maintain said computer. So keep in mind, these are things we did not even truly conceive 20, 30 years ago. When I went to school for telecommunication and film, as opposed to what it is now, some of the basic stuff I could do on my computer blows whatever I was doing in terms of the learning out of the water altogether. It's basically years of classes that I've learned in weeks just doing YouTube videos or basically fiddling around myself. So again, these are things that we need to know. If there are younger people in your life that can kind of help you along the way, if you are not as familiar, I'd say you definitely should reach out to them and see if they can help you out. If what I'm saying is sounding like Mandarin Chinese to you right now, perhaps you can have them watch this together with you at a later date, and they can, from that point, kind of help you out and school you as to what you need to learn in order to be able to keep up with this technology that's going on right now. So AI, like it or not, it is here, it is with us, and it is growing, and we need to do our best to learn what we can while we can be. That's one of the things that I've been thinking about in my Nighthawk hours. There are a couple other things that I have also considered. We're going to discuss them after a couple of acknowledgments here from the Nighthawk Network. Again, this could be your advertisement, if you so choose, coming up here on video screen so we can send it out to the people and they can be part of your goods and services. At the Nighthawk Network, we are here to help you. Check it out. Hey, this is Eric Buckner here in the Nighthawk Network studios. And for those of you that have pet care, grooming, and vet needs, we want you to contact here in the Detroit area, Meet You There Pet Care. That's Meet You There Pet Care, LLC. The phone number is 313-471-4970. So for those of you that have pet care needs here in the Detroit area, please contact Meet You There Pet Care. They will get you situated with all your home pet care, grooming, and vet tech services. And do know that we want to promote all small and minority businesses here in the Nighthawk Network. Make sure you contact me on the Nighthawk Network Detroit page or on Eric Buckner Messenger or Eric Hawk 45 Instagram to get your thing promoted here on the network. Thank you. Have a good one.
Hello, hello, hello. It's another glorious day, my T-Sippers, and you know what time it is. I hope you have all of your comfort together because it's time to dish tea. And you're dishing tea, darlings, with Big Meat.
Can't wait. It's time to dish tea with Big Meat. It's time to dish tea with Big Meat. It's time to dish tea with Big Meat. It's time to dish tea with Big Meat.
Darling.
What's going on, y'all? We are back. This is the I Am Nighthawk Pod Show. I am your host, Eric Butler, the Nighthawk himself, and we are here talking to you guys about what's going on in the world, some of the things that's been on my mind as you sleep. One of the things that's making it hard to sleep these days is the fact that we are entertaining foolishness, okay? Plain and simple, let me put it to you this way. Two impeachments, and now four indictments for the man that was previously the president of these United States, a man whose respect I have so not wanted to give to him to the point to where I don't even like to speak of him by name. You know who I'm talking about, particularly those of you who know the show and the broadcast. The one I call the Orange Clown himself, that guy. Here we go again, people. Now, I don't want to get deep into that subject. I'm going to say that for a future show. But long story short is, what are we doing? 4 indictments, basically 4 different things in less than 4 months. One of these got to stick, okay? One of these got to be true. And that being said, they are still interviewing people to this very day who are saying he's right. This is all scams and things to set him up, and it's not true. And they did steal the election, etc., etc., etc. Really? Really? Come on. Let's be serious. Okay, there's that. Another thing I want to talk about, okay, the incident last week. We know it took the internet by storm, the infamous brawl in Alabama. Y'all still at it a week later. If I see one more of these memes with the chair and Black Aquaman and all that, man, y'all having a ball with that thing, okay? Bottom line, it was a sad situation. And that was just the one that was caught on camera. Imagine how many of those things happen all the time, particularly in places where racial tensions are not what they should be at this point. His indictment in Atlanta is going to stick. Man, roll your mouth, God's ears. I mean, come on. We're talking about over 100+ indictments on the man between these 4 different places, between Atlanta and Washington, D.C. and New York and down in Florida. I mean, bottom line is the documents, okay? If any of those cases should be easy to prove is that he has them. It boils down to, Okay, he was president. Was he allowed to have one? If the answer is no, he guilty. Lock him up. If the answer is yes, then we move on to the next. And the fact that we got to figure out, okay, when should all these cases start? For all I care, they can do them all in a round robin. Just have him go back on Monday to this one and Tuesday to that one and work them all out until we figure out what we're going to do. Again, I personally feel that when all said and done, that man ain't going to do not one day in prison, not a one. And that this all may just be a whole bunch of money that we are spending for naught. But again, I want to get into that further on down the line. Just for now, I want y'all to seriously sit down and look at all these things that's being said and use this thing we call a brain. Something got to click to where it's like, okay, maybe he did do one of these things. And I take you back to one Bill Cosby. Remember that? Remember how the first few cases came out? It's like, no, I don't believe it. Bill didn't do that. And then we got 10 accusers, 20, 30, 40. At some point in most people's mind at that point, it was like, okay, Bill, you probably did do one or two of these at least. Because it's just too much evidence out there. Same thing here, people. You got to believe something, okay? We'll move on. Like I said, between that and the Bama thing, y'all been real busy online the last couple of weeks. And in the meanwhile, there are other things happening. More importantly, like I said, I mentioned the Hawaii thing earlier. It'd be nice if some of us could focus a little bit more on that. I'm going to start to, be part of the solution when I have these conversations, not just run my mouth. So when I start to post some of these stories about the Hawaiian thing, check them out if you can, Let's try to support our people. If it happened in our community, we would want people to reach out and help us, right? The same. Okay. Now let's have a little fun, okay? Let's not end the show on this sour note. This is one of those things I'm calling, what are we doing? This week's What Are We Doing is I'm asking, what are our fashion issues right now? Because some of the things that I'm finding people to find fashionable are very disturbing. Really. This week I want to talk about this hairstyle I've seen on several people this summer. Uh-oh. Hold on, good people. Sorry about that. Pushed the wrong button somewhere. Okay, yeah. How many people have you seen wearing a hairstyle like this? You see that? Note the colors, okay? Or maybe this one. Check that one out. Now, some of you are saying, yo, fuck, what's wrong with that, bruh? That look nice. Do it? Do it really? I want you to take another close look at them again. And okay. My personal thought on this is this, y'all, and y'all correct me if you feel like I'm wrong or I'm tripping. That looks foolish, okay? Those are hellacious colors. And those colors do not fit anybody's pigmentation. I've seen people of color with that hairstyle. I've seen people of non-color with that hairstyle. I've seen white people, black people, Hispanic people, Arabic people. Yes, Arabic people. To the point to where, yeah, up under the thing, they still were wearing the hijab, but you still saw that they had their hair like that. That ain't cute. It's a weave or a wig. In some cases it is. In some cases, people have actually colored their hair this color, where this is their actual hair color. Not a weave, not a wig, not extensions. They've actually colored their hair this color. And understand there are colors even worse than that. The ones that are green and all of that, the ones that are purple, however ones you do, they don't look attractive, okay? Understand, in most corporate settings, that's probably not going to fly. Now, some people say, okay, well, I don't work in a corporate environment. I do blase fleet. Okay, I think it looks cute. Now, understand, these styles of the hair in and of themselves, I have no issue with. If you want to do the curls, if you want to do the long weave, or you want to do the sewing and all that, it's styled a certain way, no problem. It's the coloring that I have issue with. You look like you fell in a box of crayons. You look like somebody took some Elmer's glue and put cotton candy on your head. You look like Bozo the Clown, okay? And the only thing that makes it worse to me are those of you who basically have decided after that hairstyle and died out after about a week or so that, okay, I'm just going to keep my hair like this for a while. So now you're walking around with the nappy head looking like this. So yes, imagine, if you will, somebody walking around with this hair color, but the curls are gone. Now all you got is nappy hair. Or even worse, some of y'all have decided to go ahead with the locks that color. And I'm not completely familiar with how locks work, but I imagine it will be hell getting them dyed and getting that color dyed something normal. Am I being a fuddy-duddy? Maybe. Am I being that old dude? I guess. But I just don't see it. It's not cute to me, folks. And I don't care what pigmentation, what orientation, what. Yeah, I've seen men with that colored hair. It all look crazy to me. I can't do it. I don't understand it. Where do we get to this point with the hair coloring? Okay. Now understand there are some colors that look very attractive on people. You know, when y'all do the nice reds and burgundies, those look good on most folks. When you do the sandy blonde or the platinum blonde, that looks good on some people, on some not so much. When you do the silver hair, I'm kind of good with that with most people. But that stuff there, the curly, the curly cotton candy look, no. I can't do it, y'all. I don't get it. I don't understand. Some people get faux locks in those colors. And even that's just crazy to me. The colors. Like I said, I have no issue with you having locks. I mean, that apparently is part of the style nowadays. You know, as these days I like to rock the nice Lex Luthor head myself. I think I look nice like this. And obviously it's easy to manage. You just basically keep it nice and low and bald, you know. But some people, they got to change their hairstyle like every couple of weeks. Otherwise, they feel like they're not doing it right. And it seems like those are people that go from one crazy hairstyle to the next crazier hairstyle. And it's like, what are we doing? I mean, obviously, if your hair is this color, I feel you are out to get some type of attention. And some of y'all getting that attention don't really want it to that degree. But of course, people who are not used to seeing hair look like that are going to stare at you and be like, and then of course there are those who look at that and be like, hey, I like that. So yeah, they're gonna come up to you and be like, okay, how'd you get that? Where'd you get it from? What did you do? And maybe that's what you want. Maybe that's the type of attention you want. You want people to bite your style or whatever. I myself say, a lot of y'all natural hair color is very beautiful in and of itself. Could you not just get the hairstyle and not color the hair? Then of course there are the older among us who basically once some gray hairs kick in, you do like I do and then cut it bald, or you say, no, it's time to start coloring stuff. I'm not ready to accept my older age yet, so let me go with something. Yeah, I ain't mad at that, but must you go with something that looks like that? You look crazy. I can only imagine what our grandparents who are no longer with us, who passed in the decades before, would view how some of that look now. I mean, I remember taking my granny around from time to time, and she'd see certain things. They'd be like, "Oh my God, why are they wearing that? Or why is their hair like that? That looks crazy." And in my mind, some of the stuff, it just do look crazy. You look like a clown with this hair, okay? If you feel some type of way about it, you can leave it in the comments, leave it in the message. When you see this show later on, you put your comments. I have no problem with that. We go back and forth about it. Maybe, as always, when I bring up these subjects, sometimes y'all gonna help me understand why you do what you do. And at that point, trying to be an open-minded individual these days, I will come back on later on and be like, you know what? I discussed this last week. I've talked to a few people, and now I see it this way. It's okay for y'all to try to convince me, but right now, you look crazy. You look straight up crazy. Don't wear that. Yeah. Bad investment, people. Bad investment. That being said, that's all I got this week, y'all, for my show known as I Am Nighthawk Network. I am Nighthawk. Next week, we're going to talk school because a lot of people are starting school this week, already at school or about to start school. We got to talk some things school. We got to talk about the teachers. We got to talk about the students. We got to, as always, have those discussions ahead of time before school starts, because these things are vital and not going on enough, and we just got to get into it. So next week, the topic will be school days, okay? So if you got some questions or you got some things y'all want to add into that discussion, by all means, like I said, hit me up in my messenger, Eric Buckner, or you can hit me up on the YouTube page, as you see if you're watching for YouTube. That is Eric Buckner, Nighthawk Network Detroit. Or you can hit me up on my Instagram, which is EricHawk45, or the new Instagram that will be primarily for the broadcast, that is Night. And we will have those things as the weeks go on so you can view them and you can have a better idea what they look like and where to find them and all of that. In the meanwhile, thank you guys for tuning in. As always, I appreciate it. If you are going to share this broadcast, I would appreciate that as well. Again, by all means, go to my Eric Buckner Nighthawk Network Detroit page and like and subscribe. That would be very helpful in terms of future broadcasts and perhaps someday monetize in the scenario. One discussion we're going to have later on in this season is my idea about Nighthawk Network Radio. What's that about? We'll talk about it. We'll talk about a lot of things because more times than not, I'm going to be up sometime in the night or two, thinking about these things, thinking about what you think about them, and ready to discuss them later on down the line with you, the people. But until then, we're going to call it a night. Y'all have a great, restful evening. Continue to have a safe summer. We will catch up with you next week on this podcast. However, if you want to see me again, I'm going to be on tomorrow night doing a sports podcast known as Big Buck Sports Report. We're going to catch up with MLB, see what's going on in the W, and talk about some of the summer sport events that I have been watching during my hiatus. We'll talk about those as well. Until then, thank you guys. Love you. Remember, be blessed. Try not to stress. And in the end, if you are, pray on it and let the good Lord deal with the rest. All right? That's what we're going to do. Keep in mind, don't have our outro yet, but I hope you liked my intro that I did. I'm going to actually upgrade on that as well as time go on. You know, as I add little things and whatnot. But until then, the intro should be the outro, and we're going to go with that. So I will see you guys next time. Y'all know how we do it. 2 fingers and peace.